Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boy racers, girl racers, whatever you want to be. It is time for another round of educational hot laps here at Simsational TV, done by yours truly, Zach O'Reilly. I'm excited to get this one out. It's been a while between drinks, but boy, oh, do we need it. Around Adelaide here. This is probably the most hated track or loved track on the circuit for everyone in sundry here at AK Racing. And what better place to do it than in a V8 Supercar, and flying around here for these this educational point is myself behind the wheel. As much as Munro would like to have his credit done, his gaming rig is in pieces, so ignore the sticker on the window for this one. But boy, am I excited to take you through everything here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be exciting stuff, that's for sure. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to see if I can actually get my screen to do what I want it to do here and change a scene, but it's not doing that at the moment. So let's see if we can get... Well, there we go. We're on like Donkey Kong here. All right, let's bring up the pedals. Now, this is a 1 minute 17 and a half around here at this point in time. So we'll see what it does for me. We've just seen the exterior footage of it. Looks pretty well done, but I think there could be better. There might be time to be gained here for some of our quick fellas. So you can see how it's done, but we'll go straight into it here and get right on with the educational session we are about to have. So here we go. Let's start off the lap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get firing up as we fire down the front straightaway here into the absolutely hated chicane of everyone here. Brake just at the 100-metre board, as we've seen here, and we'll slow it down as we always do. Already down into fourth gear, from fifth gear. And at this track, the track limits at T1 are pretty generous. You have to have all four wheels on the inside of the curbage for it to strike you. So you can use a bit of license here, which is exactly what I've done. And we'll see here, we'll shift it into slow motion so we get a better view. This is a very challenging area. It's sort of like a hurry up and wait corner, because if you go into this corner too hot and overdo the first corner, you're going to get a track cut or bounce yourself into oblivion and probably out of the track map by the time you get around into turn two, because the car will just bounce off into the sky and into oblivion. So we'll see how we do it here. Let's get cracking on that. So we've slowed it down here to 4 times slow. So I've pointed the car in. I'm already flat on the pedal there, as you can see in the pedal box, jumping that curb, which then aims me right there to that point where the actual car and the gap in the curbing picks me back up where I need to go. And I'm still full throttle here. I've just hit some curvages, and that sort of flicked me sideways, but it doesn't give me any sort of nervousness or doubt, because I know the car's going to stick. So let's see what we can do. This is very important. You can seem like you're going to this left-hander coming up at the right trajectory, and then you find yourself slapping it into the wall. So if we can pick it up here in slow-mo, how I actually do it, we'll get that cracking now. So bit of oversteer there, get the car balanced and settled, and just miss that inside curve. The car is still sliding here, by the way. It's still sliding so much, and you're just turning it to get it just before that yellow line there into right-hander coming up. Very, very tough track this is. This is the hardest corner on the track we're going to get right. Already braking, and it's at the 150-metre board. And I'll keep slapping down the gears to second gear. It's up to you if you want to go first to see what you can do, but you can see I'm fully on the anchors already, coming in and turning in at this point. The back just a little squirrely there, but I've turned the car in now, just hitting that apex. And you can see I'm still on the brake until there. So I'm already braking basically until the apex of the corner and pushing the car wide, 3/4 throttle here now, nearly at full throttle, because I know the car's just about to settle in. Some little bit across oversteer there, but just caught it enough to get the car balanced and point in the right direction for the next section coming up. The reason I do this in slow motion is because this is important. You have to brake before the 50-metre board there and already start to rotate the car in. Now I'm using the rear to turn the car, but I'm still on the brake, still modulating that throttle pedal, and that's getting me right in. Bit more steering lock because I know I'm just about to make the corner, and again, still braking until the apex of the left-hander there. So that very, very important thing to do is trail brake as much as you can. It's going to keep the car settled, because this is a very, very bumpy track, as we all know. And it's not fun to do anything nefarious, because by the time you get into the next section, already on the brakes, modulating that throttle pedal and the brake pedal to get it shifted. I'm still in second, by the way. I've Limmy bashed it in both these corners, and you use the inside here. So if you get there, you will basically find that if you use that inside curb just here, we'll go back for a second. Let's have a look from an external view. You can see how much curb I'm using there. Now, if you look at where the number 3 is and the outline of the car versus the that middle section of that concrete barrier there, you can see the trajectory already is pointed in the way that I actually want it to go. So you'll see here in slow motion, I'm nearly at the same angle of that corner right there, that concrete barrier. That is where you want to be. If you ride the curb too much on the inside there, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get it balanced again, because it'll kick you out. And it's just enough here for me to keep it sideways at 180 degree steering angle, but I'm still on the throttle. I don't care. I know the car's going to stick, and that's what confidence you guys need to have, because when you do that, you literally can keep the car planted in the rear, squatted on the ground, which means the tyres coming in contact with the road. And you can already see I'm braking just before that 50-metre mark there, just before that inside curbage starts to go away to a concrete barrier. Now, this one here is very important, because this is your massive long run up onto this front straightaway. Holy mackerel, you want to get this one right. Then if you don't, you're going to run onto that curbage we can see on the left-hand side. And you can just touch it, just pulls the car back in, and you'll see I do that here now. So we'll go back to this, and it's still hard on the angle. On the about 3/4 brakes, throttle pedal, around here, just straighten the car up enough. Now I'm going to touch the inside curb there, but that outside curb, but that's fine. I'm through on the throttle, and the speed is still increasing there. So that's fine. The back straightaway here is awesome to go through. It's very, very fun. We'll accelerate up towards this at the moment at full speed. And I'll tell you where I'm about to start braking. I reckon it's just about here. Oop, there we go. And we've just seen me darted in there to the right-hand corner. And we'll go back just to have a quick look at that to see exactly what happened. So, still on the throttle here at the prior to the 50-metre board, but I think just as I get past it, I've just starting to lean off a little bit here with the steering angle. I know I can go full throttle through there, and that'll keep my car just off the wall here. I barely miss it, but I knew that it would stick. If you can get the confidence to go full throttle through there, you got the right setup, the right aero as well. So let's keep going here as we come down into the hard braking zone. Already braking, shifting down gears. So I brake very, very early there, I think, compared to everyone else. But it's important, because if you're hanging out wide here, I'm already starting to turn in now, and that is a very, very wide section to start turning in. But you can see, still on the brake pedal, modulating that brake and the throttle just to get it to kick the arse in a little bit so I can get that car rotated. And I'm already on the throttle by the time the car is halfway around the corner. And just a touch of oversteer there on exit to get it pointed in the right direction. Second gear, coming up to third gear, I hug the inside here of the left-hander, and it might kick your car out if you don't get it right, but just dabbles the car nicely, squirms it on the outside, braking before the 50-metre mark here, using all the road, but not the outside curb. If you use the outside curb, you are going to be in strife. You'll go straight into the thrifty car rental sign there, or even worse, hit the wall, dart back out onto the track and kill someone, which we don't want to have. So please try to keep off that curb on the outside, and also this curb coming up here on the inside. It is not a fun place to be if you hit that. Just get the throttle on as soon as I hit that apex. Run the car wide here. Use all the track, every little bit. The mirror disappears just in the wall there. Shifting up into third, into fourth, into fifth here as we come into this section. This one is pretty straightforward. It is full throttle in fifth gear if you get the right trajectory, because your car will just float to the outside, but not too much. So you'll see here, fifth gear shifting in, and then I brake just before that white line that we just saw there, and we're already starting to downshift. And this corner here can make or break you, because if you overshoot it, you're nearly off into the grass. And if you run too wide here on the left-hand side, you'll be finding yourself in the grass, and you'll just go straight on. You don't want that to happen, obviously. So use all the track width as we possibly can here. Slap it down, third into second. I use first gear into this corner, even on a super soft tyre. Just get the brake modulating nicely. You can see it's never a constant pedal. It's just on the brake and modulating that. Basically just waiting until we get the car balanced on exit here. Now, I can't not oversteer on this exit. It looks like it's big, but it's really not. It's just hard to get it right in first gear. So if you can, all hats off to you. And that is a lap, ladies and gentlemen, because we are already at the start-finish straight here and ready and sold. That is a 1:17.580 around Adelaide. We'll have a look at it on board in full pace, just so you can get your bearings again. Let's go around here, and I'll give you a call of this one. Down the first straight. Here we go. Coming into T1, fifth gear, slaps it down into fourth, gets the car pointed in, accelerates already before the curb, over those two curves. The car's balanced nicely there, just a little niggle here. Brake hard at the 150 mark, coming down into second gear into the right-hander. Use all that inside curb, accelerate early out onto the exit, get the car balanced, and then on the limby bash as we come into the second corner here of the inside section of the track. Second gear again, using all the inside curb as we possibly can, not using that outside curb too much, just enough to settle the car. Point in and turn early. Use the exit here as with the curb. Get that car balanced and nice on the exit of this corner. Coming up to the fast sweeping right-hander. This is a flat-out corner. If you get it right here, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be all on for young and old there. If you can get the car pointed in there, you'll gain about a tenth. Down into the heavy braking zone at about 180, 190 metre board. Into first gear. Nail the apex there. Get the car pointed, rotated on the throttle early. Try to maximise your exit there as well. Use third gear, onto second, miss the outside curve, miss the inside curve, run the car wide there, nearly hitting the concrete wall, slide it out, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear flat around this the second last corner of the track, slap it down into first gear to get the hairpin right, and tuck it in just at the point of knot there. Maximise the exit if you possibly can with limited wheel spin and oversteer, just like I didn't do there, and that is your lap. It's all over in a flash by the time you're thinking about it. You're like, crikey, I just made it around bloody Adelaide. I can't believe it. So in all of this, what we need to focus on here, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're struggling at this track, first place to gain time is here in T1. And you can see how I do it. Let's go like 8 slow motion here. So I've pointed in, and at this point, look where I'm hitting it. We'll go to an outside car view, and we'll get the car pointed nicely. So I'm on the grass, but I haven't got a track cut. So we'll watch this here in slow motion, how I do it. We'll go back a little section there. We'll come in. Car's already pointed in. I'm hard on the steering lock here, and you can see how much of the track you can actually use. Look at that. I'm still within the curbage, which means I won't get a track cut. And you can see how the car is squatting hard. That is full slammed on airbag sort of style there with the suspension. And I'll get to that in a second with some cues for you. But you can see here how the car is very, very planted and using all of the suspension travel it possibly can use. And it bounces and darts and carries on straight again. You can see there, see how I've just got it on the front wheel. You can see there is just about to miss that the gap there, which is where you want to go, because if you go too far further to the right there, you're going to hit the inside curb coming up, which we will see. That one you want to miss. And still here the car's a little bit squirrely. Not too bad, but just a little bit squirrely. That can give you 4 or 5 tenths of a second, that corner, if you get it right. Now, the next section that is also very important is the next turn after this one, the right-hander. And see, when you heavily brake, you can maximize your entry speed, which is by not overcooking it, and using all of the traction that the car can give you. And we'll get to that in a second with setups. But you can see just a little squirrely on the brakes there. Don't let don't shit the bed, in other words. Just think about it. Go, oh, it's all right. I'll just modulate the brake pedal a bit. And you can see here that I do exactly that. I'm like, oh, yep, okay, now I've caught it. And now I can turn the car in and let go of that brake pedal. Still gradually decreasing it. But I'm still on it because I know that if I go into hot here, I'm going to wash completely wide. And now I've found that I know, all right, this is it. I'm going to make the corner here, so back on the power. This is another section of the track where you can gain a lot of time. If you run half a metre too wide at this corner, you'll be off into the left-hand side there and probably on into the fence. Or you'll have to get off the throttle, which is a time killer, as we know, and then you'll be stuffed. So let's just think about all of that and make sure that you get the car pointed in early. Don't worry about the old, they're going to overtake me and whatever. They're going to try and dive under brakes. If you're braking there, let them do that, because then 90% of the time you're going to be able to get a switchback into the next corner, which is where we see it happen in real life a fair bit if they overcook the exit. So don't stress too much there. Into this next section, is pretty well okay. Just get it pointed in. Use the inside of the curb there to point the car in. This one here, as I said before, let's focus on getting the car pointed in early. So use a wide exit. I'm already braking here before even the 25 metre board there. Use a wide exit. Come in. Take your time. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but if you find you can get the car over this inside curb here, everything is going to be fine and dandy. It's all going to be good. So we'll see here in slow motion whereabouts I am. And I've just nicked the inside of it, but I'm still on it. And that's perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. This curb here probably on the edge probably saved me a little bit because I just nabbed it at the point where the car was rotating probably a little bit too much. But I got away with murder there, so let's ignore that one for now. And this one here is very important. If you can't get this right, you're going to get sucked all the way down the straight. Even though there's a curb, it is now flat out in these cars. So we don't want to have a bad exit coming up here. So very important to get it in the nose. Turn the car in very early. Use that marker there, that screen is where you want to be mid-corner. And then look to the inside of the track with your head, and you'll turn the car in a lot better than what you think you will. And when you maximise the exit here, you can see exactly what I've done. I'm full throttle already, and we're just powering out and getting the best run possible up onto the back straight. We'll go past all this turnage here, get into the next heavy braking section. We'll have a look and see where it ends up in the grand scheme of things. So you can see how wide I am there. I'm on the inside of the yellow line, which is on the right-hand side of you, still before I turn in. So use all the track width as you possibly can and get it turned in just at that second arrow. And I'm still on the brakes. You can still see I'm on the brakes. I'm off it now. I've got it back on the throttle just to get it pointed in. Now on the brakes again mid-corner, just to wash off a little bit of speed. But I know that I've got the car rotated in the right trajectory. And then don't go too heavy on the throttle. You can see I'm modulating it here a little bit. It's not full on. It's off. It's on. It's off. It's on. And now it's full throttle. Then it's off again because I knew that I had a little bit of wheel spin. So if you can modulate that throttle, what it does is it basically gives you the difference between, say, binding up on the release of a corner is getting the car too grippy in the rear, which means it's just going to bog you down. And if you can find it dancing a little bit on the exit of the track, on the exit of the corner, and having a little bit of wheel spin, it's not diabolical. You'd rather have that wheel spin on the end of the exit rather than halfway through the corner, entering the corner, or basically just as you cross the apex of any corner, because that is not where the setup wants to be in the grand scheme of things. So while we watch the rest of this sort of go on, excuse me, I want to make a statement to everyone here who's struggling with the setups. For this track, set your dampers pretty low, apart from your front, your first, I can't remember if it's your rebound or bump, whichever the first setup is on the dampers. I still have that at 8 in this setup. I have it at 8. I have the rest of them at about 1 or 2, and you can tune that between them, and that's in the front. Then the rear, it's about 4 on the first one, then I think it's 1, 2, 1 or something like that. That will help all of these, I guess, the dancing of the cars that you're probably oversteering and finding it's too bumpy with. That will disappear if you can tune those dampers right, because the dampers, if you read up on them, it's all about the contact of the road, when the suspension is flexed, when it is rebounding, and how quick it does that, and it just settles the car down nicely rather than feeling nervous over every bump you go. The other thing is too, with your wing, a lot of people are running low wing. I'm running 8 in this one. A lot of people are running 10 or 11. It's up to you on how you feel, but I think with a higher wing at the back, it makes the car hard to rotate in. You'll find you'll have a lot of understeer, and then you'll be going slower to get into the corner or going through the middle of the corner with the apex speed, because the rear is too grippy in it and the front just has no grip. So keep that in mind as well if you can around Adelaide too. Lovely bit of drifting here at the exit, just a touch of it, and then back it slaps it into second gear and we get some more happening. But ARBs, low at the front, higher at the rear. That's another one to do. Camber is pretty low for this one. Slider bar wise, I'm at like 2 on the front and I think 1.5 on the rear. Just gives me enough there, purchase on the road with the rubber. But otherwise, other than that, the rest of it is up to you getting those lines right. It really is. And making sure that you can get everything flowing. a big thing is flow. If you know where your gear shifts are, you know where it's all going to happen, you know where the braking markers are after a few laps, then yeah, do that. But make sure you can find all of that in Sundry, and you will find yourself lapping consistently at the times that you want to make do with in the race. Well, I hope that helps. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it. This is part 3 of the Hotlap series here for Simsational TV. So without further ado, I think that's about enough for us. So for myself, it's good night. Thank you very much. Hopefully this helps you. If you have any questions, give me a message in the Discord, and give the video a like and subscribe if you have not watched. That would be really appreciated. Thank you very much, everyone. Talk to you next time.